Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path. Welcome to the start of our 2023 border track trip. By the way, if you want to pick up some stickers or patches, jump onto our Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/OTBP, Off the Beaten Path. You can pick up stickers and patches there if you're interested. Or you can just donate coffee and buy me a virtual coffee to support the channel and what we do. So coming with us on this trip, of course, I'm coming on the trip. Always got to have that one guy that plays in the mud and makes things look hard. Got to be there. Also coming on the trip is Dan from Out There with Dan in the Iron Emu, his revamped 90 Series Prado. Coming along with us as well is Trippy Matt, pushing that 75 Series Trippy as hard as he possibly can, and making short work of the border track. Of course, no trip's complete without Luca, the Italian chef, pushing that TB48. And we also have Paul with us again, Mr. Control, bringing along his FJ Cruiser. So epic trip, can't wait to get into it. Okay, so picking up where we left off, it should be smooth sailing from here, right? We're out of the hard stuff and it should be an easy run. Unfortunately, that wasn't going to be the case because I didn't get too far along here and I noticed a battery light on the dash and low voltage on the second battery.
Try and crimp it again. You know the multi bits that you screw?
I think if we're going to do that, those ones. Would they get under there?
I've only 2 minutes.
Yeah. Let's give it a go, and then maybe we'll just tape it to be safe.
You're making that look hard.
Yeah.
Just as you get it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What happened?
So this wire here, which is part of my
Car park dual battery system that I installed on the way to this trip, the crimp fail that I crimped with pliers.
Thanks. And yeah. So Luca, of course, being a Friggy, carries multi-grips.
I'm impressed that you knew exactly where that was, Luca, and you went,
Yeah.
and 1 second later you were able to retrieve it.
But I know where your tools are. No point packing anything without finding it.
Yeah, that's right.
Tape on it around those wires.
Without facing the other ones now, Luca.
Yeah.
Since you're going with gusto, mate, you want to do the two on the red arc as well?
This is what happens when you try to fit a dual battery system in a car park on a way of a trip.
With a pair of pliers and a shifter.
I mean, considering the driving we've been doing, it's probably pretty good, really.
So yeah, we were hoping that
Luca had a pair of multi-grips.
The battery light and the
Vice grips.
the low voltage on the second battery was purely and simply and solely due to that loose wire. Because I didn't have proper crimpers when I put that system together way back on the first video for this trip now, in the car park at the Mildura Autobahn, and hoping that was going to solve the problem. So kept driving, and we've gotten down here near the small town of Francis in South Australia, just journeying onto the bitumen road here, Minamay Francis Road. And it was becoming apparent that although I was now getting some charge through to the second battery, that there was something else going on. So the main cranking battery was going down in voltage.
Pretty sure it's on the right.
And you can see where Luke is looking just there. He's looking where the alternator is, trying to see if we can get a reading.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get to there.
No. What are the batteries reading?
12.26
on the crank, yeah. That's the crank on the crank. Yep. Okay.
Can you rev it up a bit and see what happens?
So 12.26 volts on the crank battery, which is low for
Okay, put the lights on. High beam, everything on. Switch the lights on.
Lights are on.
Off. Lights off.
So it's just
So when you put the lights on, the voltage goes to 12.2, 12.1, goes down low. It's supposed to be able to keep up with the lights.
Yeah.
So something's happened that it's not throwing the right charge in there.
Yeah, I think the alternator. It's a common thing on the 70 series. You get. I just didn't realise it was this easy to screw them up.
Well, last time we went out, you were in water more times in water than we were off water. So and it didn't play up then.
No. But it's probably accumulation of that time and this time. So I reckon we're going to need an alternator swap.
Have you got one?
No.
What we'll try and do is water. We need to put water in a bottle of water and just spray it in there whilst it's running. Just
But we can't get to it anyway.
yeah. See the fins on the top? See the fins there? If we've got a
So that is the alternator, just down
yeah, that's the alternator.
with the pulley on it.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
Yeah, so if we can get a garden hose from some friendly farmer, that'd be the easiest to spray it.
The Miracourt's 30 k's. Why don't we go to
Let's go there.
car wash? There's a Repco there.
Oh, okay. Alright, sounds good.
so we've made the call.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out maybe for a car wash.
Try and clean the alternator.
Right, so it seems like whatever trip I do, I'm destined for bloody 12 volt problems.
Drive very far without the alternator.
Not only did I have the dual,
By 180 or 280.
not only did I have the dual battery issue on the way over, but it seems like maybe the alternator in this thing has gotten a bit clogged up and is now not functioning because the battery light is on, crank battery's at 12.1, and the secondary battery is lower than that.
So guys, at this point we're just north of Francis, little town near the Vic SA border, and we've decided to head to Narracourt. It's a good 40 kilometres, about half an hour drive from where we are currently, and figured that'd be both a good test for my battery and see what's happening with the alternator. Is it in fact actually charging or not? The other advantage is because we've had phone signal, I've been able to check, and there is a Repco there, and they do have a Land Cruiser 76 series alternator in stock. So that's what we're doing. We're heading to Narracourt. So yeah, as you just heard there, the plan is to head to Narracourt. Going to go to the car wash, try and get some high pressure water into this alternator, see if that changes things, and also try and pick up the alternator from Repco in Narracourt, because I'm pretty sure we can get there before 5 o'clock when they close. So just heading through the town of Francis now. Making pretty good time on the bitumen. And heading south out of Francis down towards Narracourt. As you can see, steady sort of convoy, and really just trying to push on and get to Narracourt in time before Repco close there, although have called them and let them know we're on the way.
So yeah, look, we're pretty sure it's the alternator. Lucas tried to clean it on the side of the road back there with some water, but no dice. We're heading to Narracourt, gonna try and clean it at a car wash, see if we can get it going again. It seems to maybe be partially working. The crank battery's still sitting on 12.1 and I've driven probably 20 k's, so it's not rapidly losing charge, but the battery light on the dash is still on. So we're going to try and get it working, get rid of the battery light. Push comes to shove, Repco at Narracourt, phone them. Those guys were really helpful. They have a suitable alternator on the shelf, probably not OEM, but one that is suitable for this vehicle. Can be mined for the low price of about 500 bucks. And then we just have to fit it. So anyway, cross that bridge when we get it. So we're booking it to Narracourt. I've got about 9-10 k's to go. It's just after 4 o'clock on Monday. Yeah, we're getting there. It's like, what do I have to do to not have 12 volt issues on a trip? It's like, I thought at the start of this trip when the dual battery system wasn't working, that was my 12 volt issue and it was done and I fixed it. But no, we have to have more 12 volt issues. Yeah, I definitely see a sealed alternator for this thing in my future. So yeah, watch this space. Anyway, we're just about in Narracourt, so let's see what we see.
That came undone.
Oh, nuts. You had a streamer.
Yeah.
Fancy seeing you here. What are the chances? Pretty
So
high.
here we are at the car wash at Narracourt. As you can see, Lucas volunteered to load up the concrete and try and get under there and clean the alternator.
You can change it to normal water if you need to. You want high pressure water or whatever. I'll go to Repco and I'll buy an alternator.
Yeah, but we don't know whether that's the problem though. We're not sure.
We don't, but
What else could it be?
Jason,
yo,
can you do me a favour and start the car?
yep. You want me to start it with you under it?
Yeah, make sure it's in park.
Park. You mean neutral?
Park, is it in neutral? Right, it's in neutral?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know if you want high pressure water.
Lucas trying to get some water there up into the alternator. As you can see, there's a bit of dirt and mud under there from the tracks we've been hidden.
Can it be? Let's stop talking alternator. What else can it be?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, my understanding of 12 volt is pretty limited. To me, from what I know, it's either the alternator or it's the battery. And I don't think it's the battery.
Given that neither battery is showing an increase in charge, would almost eliminate that it's
That's a
the
fuse for
battery.
the winch.
Yeah, I really think you should probably grab that alternator. And then, like you said, let's drive on, dry it all out, see what happens. If something bad goes wrong, we find a camp and we do a mechanical swap over. Apparently Dan wanted to learn a few things about on the tools, so what a great opportunity to send him under your car.
Swings and spanners.
Yeah. You can like do two at once. You could have his little back roller. He could be rolling on that, undo that, roll forward, roll back, undo that.
I mean, to me, it's either the battery shit itself or it's the alternator not charging the battery, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I reckon's going to happen?
What?
Nothing. Until you get home and you'll have the alternator. It's 12.3. It's been 12.3 for the past half hour to 3/4 of an hour. It's not changed. The alternator's doing a little bit. That's my theory. If I had to wager A or B.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
But the alternator is faulty.
Yeah, I think it's the alternator, and I think it's half shit itself, full of mud or whatever. I agree it's doing a little bit, because in the Pajero, when the alternator was dead, I could see the voltage moving, and it was almost like I was, okay, 0.1 of a volt gets me 3 kilometres. And it's like, how do I budget my kilometres and my volts? Whereas we've just driven nearly 40 k's on this, and the voltage has barely dropped. That doesn't sound right, does it, Paul?
Sounds a bit strange. I know that they don't run very long with injector drivers.
Maybe limit what power things you've got on.
Yeah, I've turned the AC off and everything.
You've turned the AC. You hear that? He's turned his air conditioner off.
The first thing I did.
Air conditioner. What's this
I used the
talking about?
manual air conditioner. Open the window.
That's all I've got.
Fan on 1, fan on 2, fan on 3.
A good battery's 12.7, so it's below good battery voltage. I'd be getting the alternator.
All right.
Worst case scenario.
Navigate to Repco. So we got to Narracourt. We gave the engine bay and the alternator a really good clean out at the car wash with the pressure washer and engine cleaner and degreaser and all that kind of stuff, and tried to make it as clean as possible. Now, at that time, we did see the battery light that's still on the dash. That would be that one there. Just pulling over, Luca got stuck at a red light. So look, at that time, we did see the battery light go out, but it hasn't gone out since. The voltages have been doing weird stuff. I bought an alternator from Repco, so if we have to, we'll swap it over.
So the plan was now to head from Narracourt on the bitumen, not knowing what my 12 volt situation is and what's going on there and what my battery voltages are going to be, and also we're much later in the day than intended. So bitumen down to Mount Gambier, bitumen from Mount Gambier down to Piccaninny Ponds, and try and still get to the beach. It is supposed to be the Murray to the ocean, Murray to the beach. So try and get to the beach at Piccaninny Ponds while we've still got some light. As Matt said to me many times, clearly we're going to have to come back and try and do that last section of the border another time, because we've paralleled the border, but we're about 5-6 k's off the border, maybe 10 k's in places off the border. So we'll have to go back to that little town and see what we can do there. I mean, there's sections of the border you can't drive, but go back and do as much of it as we can. So just after 5 o'clock, we've got an hour and a half to get to Piccaninny Ponds, and a big stint from Narracourt through to Mount Gambier coming up now. And that's certainly going to test things. The consensus is at this point that the alternator seems to be doing a little bit, but not a lot. The battery is holding a bit of charge, but not charging properly. The voltage isn't getting as high as it should, and therefore the second battery is also not getting the charge that it should, because of the isolation system that I'm running there, the Red Arc. It's really a case of trying to nurse them along. So as you can see there, about an hour later, we've stopped at Mount Gambier. Checking the
All right,
voltage
moment of truth.
Hang on, man. Cut backwards.
There you go.
So yeah, not trusting the gauge in the car. I was keen to actually read it with a voltmeter.
Same. 12.34.
How do you drive for an hour?
Different. They're not connected.
0.1 out.
But they're still directly both reading over 12 volts.
Yes.
So they've got to be getting some charge.
This one's not getting any charge, I don't think, until this one gets to a certain level.
Yep.
That'll fire up. If you want this one charged, you're going to have to bridge those two pieces together and disconnect them at night.
Yep.
But at this stage, I don't think there's any charge coming to do that with.
No. What we're saying is
Parallel them.
So my theory was back there is that this is getting a certain charge, but not its full charge.
Just a little bit from the alternator.
Right. So it's working a little bit, but not full charge. And this will, so this battery will never be charged until it gets to
13.2 is what it does in mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So this will not. So the alternator will never charge this because the oscillator's not sensing that this isn't charged enough. So my theory is this will be like this for the rest of the weekend. So if you want to charge that tomorrow, bridge that. Whilst you're driving.
All right.
But don't you need the new alternator to set charge?
Well, we think we're getting a little bit of charge.
It'll be enough
So
to keep
you're
it
going to
going.
ride it out at that? You're not going to swap?
For now.
No.
I mean, all right. So here we are at Mount Gambier at the Blue Lake. We have, oh look, there's Dan. People you meet. We're here at the Blue Lake. We've driven over 100 Ks. We still don't know really what amount of charge the battery may or may not be getting, but the point is it's still on about 12.2 volts. We're going to push on to Piccaninny Ponds to the beach to get to our destination today and then to camp, and we'll see about maybe changing the alternator maybe tomorrow. I don't know if that's a today job or not. So yeah, of course, we stopped at the Mount, so we stopped at the Blue Lake. And I'm crossing the road and I'm crossing this barrier here, which I don't know. Very cool little lookout up there. Here's the Blue Lake. It's looking blue and it's a lake. Seriously though, it is always nice to look at. Once again guys, trip hasn't gone exactly as planned, but that's okay, we're having a good time and we're going to get where we need to get to. No lift at all.
Then you're doing low range for a bike, I'll find a whip.
So we're going to push on to Piccaninny Ponds to finish at the end of the border and then probably get to camp in the dark.
Yep.
And we'll worry about the alternator after that.
Okay.
Good with that?
Good with that.
Sounds good.
All right, we've got a plan. So, lucky this was in summer and we've still got light. It's around 6 o'clock I think now, heading south from Mount Gambier. We've got about half an hour or so to get to Piccaninny Ponds. And at this point, just really hoping that they're actually still going to be light there when we get there. See, we've got the headlights on. So the light is starting to fade, but we are getting closer and closer to our destination.
Piccaninny Ponds
That's what the sign
Conservation
said,
Area.
Piccaninny Ponds Conservation Area up here on the right.
Take the next right onto Piccaninny
There's the navigator
Ponds Road.
telling me turn right. So we're almost there, the Murray to the ocean. The last section in particular, we haven't taken the route planned. The reality is this section from Red Bluff down to Piccaninny Ponds, it's probably a 2-day section. I was expecting it to be a lot more two-wheel drive gravel roads and a lot quicker than what it actually was. So it took a lot longer.
see something big and
in
blue.
a way, having these issues and forcing us to bypass it means we actually get to the beach with enough light to enjoy it, which is good. Had we stuck to the border, it would have been dark when we got here, and we would have had to come back the next morning to get the money shot on the beach.
Well, there's the road to the beach in front of me. What do we think?
I'll have a go.
So we've got a volunteer to
Yeah, if you want to pull up and go first, if you go well,
take a
I'm
look
happy to
first, pull
follow.
on the FJ. And yeah, he's rolled in there without too much difficulty at all.
Might be an idea to put in full drive.
Just dropped it into full-wheel drive there at the last minute.
Well, there's water here.
So I just waited to get the okay from Paul, and as you can see there, just on 7:30 p.m. And yeah, lucky it was October, or we wouldn't have had light. A little bit wombat holy, and we are all running road pressures and didn't want to air down just for this last section. So a little bit of sand kicked up there from me, but hey presto, here we are, Murray to the ocean. What an epic trip it's been. Pretty cool starting at the Murray and being able to actually drive down onto the beach here. Very cool. And it's funny, we hadn't even talked about this, but Paul's just pulled up there. I've pulled up the side in.
This is not bad.
Everybody else comes and lines up, and we hadn't even talked about that. I guess it's just
Not as warm as
what
I'd
you do,
hope,
isn't
but
it?
it's not bad.
But what a way to end the day. I mean, we're not at camp yet or anything, but you know, what a way to end the main part of the trip. Pretty epic. And somehow I ended up right in the middle.
Well, here we are, guys. The Murray to the ocean. We mightn't have got here exactly the way I'd hoped, but we're all here, present and accounted for.
There we are. Luca's GU, Paul's FJ, the Mighty 76. Really starting to enjoy this vehicle. Dan with his new to him 90 series, which is proving to be quite a capable little rig. And Matt's 75 series Troopy, which I think probably has the least powerful engine out of all of them, but has done a fantastic job. Good set of tyres and twin locked, doesn't hurt, although as you know, he hasn't had four-wheel drive in low range since basically day one of the trip, only in high range. Yeah, relatively short stop on the beach there. We obviously couldn't spend a lot of time. I had thought earlier in the day when it was warm and sunny that I might have dived in for a swim, but it had certainly cooled down a lot by the time we got here, so swimming wasn't really on the agenda. And so yeah, we turned around and headed out. Turns out driving out is actually easier than driving in, which they've probably done on purpose to stop two-wheel drive vehicles getting in here by accident. It's a nice, smooth, gentle run up to the top from this side. It doesn't seem to have the wombat holes that the approach side has. You can sort of get a bit of a view of it there with this camera angle. And yeah, straight back onto the bitumen. From here, it was east on the bitumen to the Vic SA border.
Apparently there's some idiots to do it with road pressures. Who would do that?
On board here with Dan.
Alrighty, we're about 24 minutes from here to get to camp. Does anyone need to get any supplies in Nelson? I'm not sure what would be open, to be honest, at this time in Nelson. No, I don't need anything. Neither do I. All good. We'll carry on then.
So yeah, heading east towards Nelson and the Vic SA border. We're not long just crossed the border, and here we're crossing the Glenelg River. Quite a good sized river down this end in particular. Heading out to the ocean just there. Great little town, Nelson. When the Princess Margaret Rose Caves are open, which is not at the moment, you can do river cruises up to the caves. Now we did head from there to
You've got to
the
hold it down a little bit.
Lower Glenelg National Park and set up camp, and we were cooking dinner late, and as you can see, our campsite got invaded.
He had his snap there, hadn't he?
They obviously are very used to people, because he's not bothered by the light, and he's not bothered by the 4 or 5 of us standing around looking at him.
It's like there's 5 of us up here. There's 3 of them over there near the table. Oh, right near the table. It's just not like on the table.
I thought they were vegetarians, but he's carnivorous.
Yeah. I think they were
Pretty quick climbing up that tree.
omnivores, yeah.
Smile for the camera.
So, well, you got food, or what are you doing?
So just know, if you choose to camp in the Lower Glenelg National Park at Prince Charles Landing in particular, don't leave any food anywhere, because these guys will come and get it. Guaranteed. A bit later on, and again, we thought that was empty because there was no meat left in there, but he's after the satay sauce. You can see him getting his nose right into it. Chewing on the paper, not ideal. But he's not bothered. Dan's right there with the camera, and he's not bothered in the least. He's like, yep, I'm going to get into this stuff. And I don't care that you're right there practically in my face. Just not bothered in the slightest. I don't know whether satay sauce is really good for these guys or not, but I get the feeling that they regularly steal food from campers, given how not scared he was to come up onto the table. And he just kept coming back. Every time we thought he'd left and we turned around, he was back again.
Oh, yeah. Paper. No. Closer.
And then he went over to the Sakatars, and the noise from the plastic freaked him out a bit, so he got out of there pretty quick.
Here he comes.
The tray freaked him out.
But you can see, like, we're all walking around there and shining lights on him, and he is just not bothered.
Right. Here,
Look, get the fire going. So look, guys, thanks for watching. We're about to sit back and enjoy the campfire. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in the next video.